Hi guys, it's Jeanette. Thanks for joining me today. This is a little bit of a different video for me. I thought I'd just make a short video sharing this card that I'm making. So I colored this image. This is Whimsy Stamp's Water Garden Girl by Marina Fedotova. And I thought it would be kind of cool to make sort of a night scene. So what I did was I took just a Spellbinder's round die and I just drew in the moon behind her here. And then I used a bunch of Copic markers to color in the background. So I did do the background first. I used a ton of markers to color up this image, but the colors that I used for the background sky were all these. So I'm just going to pull them out for you to share with you. These are the ones I used for the background sky. And I worked sort of over a period of days actually, because it's summertime and I don't have a whole lot of time. So I would work on it and then come back. And with Copic markers you can do that. You can sort of recolor over what you've worked on. And if you work a little bit, it does start to blend out. So this was sort of the upper portion here of the sky. Then for this blue part, I colored just a little bit of that dark blue. So that darkest blue that I used, the B39, I did a little bit here on the edges. And then I used these colors here. So that was for the water. And as I was sort of coloring, I was leaving the lighter two markers here, so sort of like you have the reflection of the moon there a little bit. And then I did take my colorless blender and I went over it a little bit to lighten it up a little bit. Now I'm by no means perfect at doing this. This was sort of my first attempt, but I was trying to get this sort of nice night scene with this cute little girl. So once that was done, I worked on the moon, and for the moon I used these colors here. So in keeping with sort of the blues, these were all blues. The water was blue-green. The moon was these very gray sort of blue-greens with a neutral, and again my colorless blender. And that's how I did the moon. So I concentrated, if you look here, I concentrated the color sort of around the edges and a little bit sort of inside to sort of give the look of craters. For the little girl, I used the same colors, the same three lighter colors here for the dress. And again, try to keep the shadows and the lightness a nice contrast between them. Her hair, or I guess I should start with the skin. The skin was my regular skin colors, and the hair was these earth colors here. And then what I did is I took this BG11 and I colored a little bit over it afterwards. So I'm giving just to sort of make it look more shadowy, more like she has like some moonlight on her. This was the same color that I did the highlights on the dress. So that's how I did that. The flowers were done with these violet colors. These ones here. I wanted to keep them sort of dark. I didn't want anything too bright. The dragonfly and the grass were done with these colors here. And then the little fish was done with this. I had colored over it already with these blue greens, so just a little bit of orange over that. So that's how I colored everything up. So then I wanted to make something a little bit different. So what I did is I took this die here. This is from Whimsy's Shaker Maker Rectangle die set. It comes like this, so you have these 3 different dies. And I decided to cut it with this. And so what happens when you do that is you end up with 2 pieces like that. Because I wanted to add interest a little bit to the scene. So I'm going to raise the top portion up off the card. How I'm going to do this is I went ahead and with that same die I cut out 2 more inserts, and I ended up again with 2 more frames as well. And then I just cut a piece of cardstock to measure an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm using black because I don't really want any white showing up. So I could do this actually 2 ways. My original thought is to raise the top portion up by using those black cardstocks. Now it just raises it a little bit. I don't even know how much it shows on the camera. Maybe I'll bring it up a little bit for you. So you can see it's just raised a little bit. It gives like a little bit of interest. You could certainly raise it more by cutting more cardstock. I could also raise the side portion by using those frames. So I'm making the frame higher than this. Just push that in a little bit. And you would get this look, like this. So it's sort of your choice which way you want to do it. I actually, now that I've seen it both ways, I'm not sure which way I'm going to do it. Because this kind of looks cool as well. So let me just check one more time and then we'll decide. I'll decide which way I'm going to do it. Isn't that funny? I thought I'd do it one way and now I might do it the other way. So let's see. I still think I'm going to, I think I'm going to do it this way. I think it's a little bit more subtle, but either way you can see is great, and it's just a really neat way to add some interest to your cards. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this all together. So I'm just going to use my AT glider here. I'm going to make sure that they're really exact. Because I think that's really important for this type of card. The edges really have to all line up for it to work properly. Okay. You could also use, if you wanted, if you didn't want to cut out all that cardstock, you could use foam adhesive. But the reason I didn't use that for this card was because the foam adhesive is white, and I think there's a good possibility you would see it, and that's why I didn't use it. Let's have some tape here. So I'm going to line this up. Press it down, and now I can put this right into the middle. And so a very subtle sort of look, but it's interesting, I think, for the card. So that's how it's going to look. Just going to add, I notice that there's missing a little bit of white here. Just add that. Make that pop a little bit. And add just some dots along here, just to make it stand out a little bit. There we go. So that's my card done. Thanks for joining me. This has been a short little video, but I hope it's sort of given you an idea to try something new next time you make a scene card. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.